Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Jim Ernston. I am co-minister here along with Reverend Lisa Herklotz as well. And since my mother's maiden name is McLaughlin, you know where I'm going with this, because I see a sea of green out here. Since my mother's name is McLaughlin, I feel qualified to offer up this Irish toast. There are good ships, there are wood ships, ships upon the sea. But the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. If you're here in the sanctuary, if you're home on Zoom, I remind you to turn your cell phones off. How about that as a segue? But please join me in our mission statement. So out loud. Unity of Charlotte is the place where we nurture a deep and mature experience of God through the practice of unity principles. Simply put, we are here to love, grow, and serve. If you're here for the first time, I would invite you just to gently raise your hand so that we could acknowledge you. We have someone over here. Yes, welcome. Welcome to Unity of Charlotte. Yes, and we have somebody over here as well. Do we? No? Yes? No. There is confusion in the sanctuary. So, so, so welcome, and I invite you to stay afterwards for fellowship to where we can get to know you a little bit better. You can ask us questions about Unity of Charlotte or about unity in general as well. So please stick around. As well, different ways to know who we are, what we've got going on. We have a website, we have a newsletter, we have Facebook, we have our services on YouTube. The best way is to walk out into that hallway and see the bulletin board out there. It has everything in terms of days and times and wheres and whens of everything that's going on. So Unity of Charlotte, right outside on the bulletin board. Let's go ahead and move into prayer. I invite you to take that breath, to close your eyes, to move within as we sink into this space. Open our hearts into prayer as we begin with gratitude. Gratitude for this space in which we meet. Gratitude for each other that we come together. Gratitude for this divine spirit that we can feel here and now in this space. We acknowledge that we are part of that divinity. We acknowledge that we are part of that love, that we were created in wisdom, love, and joy. And we are so grateful for this knowledge. And with that, we say, amen. Please join me in our prayer of oneness, so out loud. There is one presence and one power in my life and universe, God the good, omnipotence. We claim and affirm this presence in our lives as love. At this time, if you know of anyone in your life that is in need of prayer, this is the time where we can gently say their name out loud and we will hold them together in prayer. So say their name at this time. Hold these loved ones, we hold these names, we hold these circumstances in our hearts, seeing the best outcome in all. Amen. And we do know that we have a prayer team that is active, holding your prayers for 14 days, as well as we ship those to Silent Unity in Kansas City, and they pray over those requests for an additional 30 days. We have moved. Our prayer box used to be up here. Where is our prayer box now? Outside this door. So right underneath the bulletin board, and you'll see prayer slips. You'll see a pen there. You can fill out and put that in, and those are confidential. They will be prayed over, and yes, utilize that so that our prayer team. You can also reach out to Silent Unity. If you need prayer in the middle of the night, you can always call 1-800-NOW-PRAY, and you will receive that prayer ministry over the phone or on the website as well. They have that. I'd like to invite up Maria and Fred for our daily word at this time.
Today's daily word is prayer. I feel the presence and power of God as I pray. In the revealing word, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore described prayer as the most highly accelerated mind action known. This awareness is my comfort and assurance as I release my worldly concerns and feel the presence of God.
La palabra de hoy es oración. Mientras oro, siento la presencia y el poder de Dios. En su libro, La palabra reveladora, Charles Fillmore, cofundador de Unity, describió la oración como la acción mental más altamente acelerada que se conoce. La oración es mi consuelo y certeza. La oración es mi consuelo y certeza. Dejo ir mis preocupaciones y siento la presencia de Dios.
As I pray, I immerse myself in the silence so I can be still and know. From this place of deep communion, I relax and focus my attention on the divine ideas of life, love, wisdom, strength, and order, which are always mine to claim. As these spiritual truths flourish in my consciousness, thoughts of my troubles and worries fade from my mind.
Me sumerjo en el silencio para aquietar y conocer a Dios. Desde este lugar de profunda comunión, me relajo y centro mi atención en las ideas divinas de vida, amor, sabiduría, fortaleza y orden. Cuando estas verdades espirituales florecen en mi conciencia, los pensamientos sobre mis problemas se desvanecen.
In the past, I may have believed prayer was a way of asking God for help and solace. Now I understand it as one of the best ways of helping and uplifting myself. Today we have a favorite scripture. Be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10.
Tal vez antes creí que la oración era una forma de pedir ayuda y consuelo a Dios. Ahora sé que una de las mejores maneras de ayudarme y elevarme. Estate quieto y conoce que yo soy Dios. Salmo 46:10.
Good afternoon and happy St. Patrick's Day again. So Reverend Jim shared with you a beautiful little toast. Thank you. It was almost like a prayer. But I have some trivia for you. I'm going to see how well you do. So the story of St. Patrick. Does anybody know what nationality he was? British, Italian, Irish, you'd think. Okay, good guessing, but no. Well, kind of Italian because he was born of Roman parents, but he was born in Wales, and either Wales or Scotland, but he was not Irish. Now, if he wasn't Irish, how did he get to Ireland? Anyone know that? Yes, by Irish pirates. Okay, never heard of Irish pirates before, but apparently they existed. He was captured and enslaved by Irish pirates, brought to Ireland. He escaped and found himself at a monastery where he converted to Christianity, and he is known and celebrated because he brought Christianity back to Ireland. Okay, one more. What was St. Patrick's color? Who said blue? Yes. I didn't know saints had colors, but apparently they do. And his color was blue. So how did we end up with green beer, green rivers, green clothes, green shamrocks? Well, he brought Christianity to Ireland back in the year 432, okay? But it wasn't until the 16 and 1700s when Ireland began to develop a spirit of nationalism, and the four-leaf clover was their symbol. And St. Patrick was for them a symbol of Irish nationality. So they got combined. And so we have now green as the St. Patrick's Day color. So anyway, I thought that was just some fun little trivia facts to know about St. Patrick's Day. But we're going to talk about Easter, and we're going to talk about Lent. How many of you, I don't know if you've got this book, the Lent is a daily practice, 40 days leading up to Easter Sunday, when we celebrate the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus. I did a little digging into the history and found out a couple of interesting things, because Lent is not practiced by every Christian religion or faith tradition. It is mostly Catholic, and it's celebrating that journey. So we have Palm Sunday, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday. And through this journey, Lent is a practice of fasting and prayer that was created by the Catholics. As in Catholicism, it was a form of giving penance and preparing yourself for that Easter celebration. But there was a third element to it that I didn't know about. Well, and before I get to that, let me mention this. There's a lot of different stories about where the origins are, but one of them is it was taken from an earlier pagan festival and adopted into Christianity, which is not an unusual practice if we look throughout history. And the reason we believe that is the word Lent refers to the lengthening of the days as spring approaches. Now, I think that's significant because as the days lengthen, we're looking at an increasing amount of light. The light is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we're moving through this season of Lent. And I thought that's very symbolic for what we're doing as we're experiencing this journey up to resurrection. So just another interesting fact about Lent. I also found that there's no scriptural basis for it as a ceremonial ritual. So it was created long after the Bible was written. However, fasting and the 40 days is from the scriptures. And if you look into scriptures, you'll know that fasting was a common practice for the prophets and for the Israelites in their spiritual practices. It's a way of cleansing and purifying. And 40 days, or the number 40, is very symbolic. And I find it interesting that this is like about the third time we've mentioned the number 40 since the beginning of the year. We talked about it when we were talking about the Israelites in the desert. They wandered for 40 years. Jesus went out to the wilderness and spent 40 days overcoming his temptations. So 40 is symbolic Does anyone remember what it's symbolic for? Time it takes to complete. So it's a number of completion. So that is where the 40 days comes from, coming up to resurrection, which is a completion of that awakening and illumination. I found an interesting statement in my looking at the history of it. And it spoke about 3 elements to the practice of Lent. One is fasting, one is prayer, and the other is almsgiving, which we don't often talk about in unity, in the unity practice. But I thought it was interesting because it is about a practice of transforming our relationships. Through prayer, we're transforming our relationship to God. In fasting, we are transforming our relationship to ourselves. And in almsgiving or service, we are transforming our relationship to others. I thought that was a really beautiful expression of this stage of purification and getting ready, right? Get ready, my soul. I am diving in. And that's what Lent is really about, this practice. At Unity, we see it as a season for spiritual growth, for the step-by-step unfoldment of that Christ consciousness in our own awareness, of fasting and letting go of those things that are keeping us from a full awareness of who we are in relationship to God. And what a beautiful thing to add to it, service, so that we understand in that unfoldment, we are also finding God in everything. So this year, the Lent book used letting go and letting God as the theme. And I would imagine almost anybody in this room, everybody in this room, has heard the term let go, let God. Letting go, letting God. And probably many of you have been practicing it probably for years. So I looked at it and said, yeah, I know what that is. But then I looked at it again. Because here's the beauty of our spiritual teachings. We can hear them over and over and over. And I can either say, I already know that, that's not new. Or I can say, what else can I know about this? And that's what happened for me as I started to look again at what does letting go and letting God really mean to me now, where I find myself today. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So we're going to start with, here it comes, letting go. Letting go is 2 actions. But what if we ignored the second part and just said letting go? It's a practice of letting go. Have you ever had somebody stand in front of you and go, just let it go. Just let it go. How many times have I told that to myself? My mind is like just wrapped around a thing going round and round and round. And I'm just going, God, just let it go. Right? Or maybe you've told that to somebody. How easy is it? Yeah, if I could just let it go, I probably wouldn't be standing here needing you to tell me to just let it go, right? Not that it's not helpful, but if we're just practicing this one side of this, of the letting go, letting God, it can be pretty tough. Because first of all, why do we even need to let go? Why do we need to let go? Why would we even want to practice it? I was pondering this, and this is what occurred to me. Take the simple act of walking. So I'm going to go back behind the podium. Okay, come on, come on. This foot doesn't want to let go of the space it's in. it knows this space. It feels safe in this space, at least for this moment. And it's going, well, if I take a step, I don't know where I'm going to land. But what happens is I can't get back to the podium. Matter of fact, I can't really get anywhere. Now, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. That's how simple, that's really how simple it is. Whatever we hold on to is going to bind us in some way, in some form, until we let go. Because life is movement. Life moves. It is not stagnant. And the way it moves is each moment gets let go of as we come into the next. So this is why letting go is important. Because if we don't, we get stagnant. And that's where pain and suffering enter in. What about the idea of loss and fear associated with letting go? That's why if someone stands in front of me and says, well, just let go, I'm probably going to go, I can't. Because the reason I'm clinging is I'm already in a state of mind that feels unsafe and has forgotten my source. I feel separate. And in that state of separation, I feel a need to control, to contain, and to cling. These are the actions when we feel we're separated from everything and we need to feel safe and secure, and we use clinging, control, and containment. But again, what happens when I stay in that state? I can't really get anywhere. So, finally, what are we afraid of? If we let go, chaos. Chaos. If I let go, everything's going to fall apart. No, this is my mind. I don't know what your mind says. I don't know what will happen. It could be horrible. I better just stay here and cling to what I know, even if it's uncomfortable and eventually is going to get really painful. And that's usually the movement to force us to let go, right? So I'll share with you that I have packed up and moved across the country several times in my life. And if any of you have packed up and moved, sometimes you do it locally, and it's the same thing. But when you move across country to a brand new city where you don't know anybody and you don't know the city itself and you don't have a place to move into, it's pretty scary. But there's no way, I've always done it because there's always a great opportunity for me in this city, in this new place. And I was always guided to go there because that's where I was going to grow. And I had to let go of what I knew and where I was to get there. And I've done it over and over. So as a young adult, it was a brand new experience. Now as a more mature, or at least older adult, I like to think I'm more mature. I've done it before, so now I kind of know what to expect, and it doesn't seem quite as scary. And I think I know how it will go until I make the move. So it's almost a double surprise, because I'm thinking that I do know, and then I get there and I realize, oh, this isn't what I expected. This isn't happening the way I planned. I've done this before. Why isn't this working the way it did the last time I moved? So we are constantly being offered the opportunity to let go. But here's the beautiful thing. Add the second part of this. Letting God. Letting go, letting God. This changes everything. And this was my big aha. Because, wait, let me bring it up on the slide. There we go. This does depend on your experience and understanding of who God and what God is in relationship to you. And unity, we believe God is principle or law. We believe God is the creative life force that is everywhere present and active. Excuse me. Therefore, when I let go, it's not chaos. I'm actually letting God in. Letting go is letting God in. Into my heart, into my consciousness, into my life. And this is our natural state, because this is our divine source. We are divine beings. We have this power, these amazing attributes of joy, of wholeness, of unconditional love available to us. And when I let go, I allow those once again to flow through me. Knowing this helps me want to let go more. Because now the fear of what will happen when I let go is replaced with the faith that God is ever present and active in my life and in everything. Now maybe I can look at letting go and be curious. I'm clinging to this thing. It doesn't really feel good. I think I'm ready to let it go. I wonder what amazing God-filled experience will come when I let go. So we're not letting go to chaos, but to divine order. God is divine order. Life with big L has a divine order to it. And when I'm clinging to needing it to be my way, or thinking that this is the way it should be, it needs to be, I know I'm right about this, I'm stagnating and not allowing a new experience to come through. I'm not actually moving in divine flow at all. I'm kind of circling in my little eddy of self, my little S self. Instead of, you know how a stream flows, it's beautiful, and it just moves graciously through things. And then it hits a little eddy and it starts to just spin on itself. That's to me what our energy, our life is like. When I'm not letting go, I'm just spinning in my own little ideas. They can seem so important and they can seem so right. But no matter how right I am, I'm still just spinning in my little eddy. When there is this beautiful, amazing, magnificent flow of life that I am a part of. And I just let go and open to return to that experience. And to me, this is what Lent is about. This is what the Easter journey is about. Coming through our experiences of forgetting and then finally letting go until ultimately we let go of everything, which is going into the tomb. I let go of all my thoughts, who and what I think I am, who and what I think God is. In the Course in Miracles, it says, I come with empty hands. The most frightening thing we can do, and yet that is where we are filled with our God spirit. And that is the resurrection, awakening to the magnificence of this power and energy that we are a part of and meant to express even here in this world of limitations. So for me, Lent is really about letting go and letting God. And it's remembering I'm not just letting go into chaos and unknown. I'm letting go into God. I am letting go and allowing the magnificence of what is already there to sweep back into my consciousness. There are 3 practices we have within Unity. There are many practices. At Unity, we have these particular 3. This is what Unity is actually founded on. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are our co-founders, taught these practices. The first one is denials and affirmations. Again, probably you've heard about denials and affirmations, those of you who've been at Unity. Denials are we use the word a little differently than how it's used in psychology. In psychology, it means we're ignoring an experience that we think is real. So if I cut my hand and I'm bleeding, I don't want to go, oh, that's not real. That's not the denial we're talking about. This denial is denying that that is the truth of you and that you have no power. Any circumstance where you feel powerless is not the truth of you and is a denial of the power that you are. So we recognize that. I've cut my hand, or I'm in the hospital dealing with something, or I'm having trouble paying the bills this month. That appearance is not my truth. I see it and I'm experiencing it, but now I want to claim the truth of me. Now, the affirmation is not just, I'm gonna manifest a lot of money to come in, or I'm gonna manifest a whole new body. The affirmation is an affirmation of a truth, of the universal truth principles that we teach at Unity. The affirmation is, I am not separate from God, and God is life. Life flows through my body. Life flows through my life circumstances. And life is abundant, opulent, and accommodating. That's a truth statement. And the more we bring that truth back into our awareness, which is letting go of the fear of the circumstance, dealing with it. I'm going to go wash my hand, put a bandage on it. But during that time, I'm going to be going, my body is a magnificent healing mechanism. And the healing power of God flows through every cell, every moment. This is denials and affirmations. The next one we have is prayer and meditation. Prayer, actually, affirmations are prayers, because we teach affirmative prayer here at Unity. It's a very specific form of prayer that is different from what most people have been taught, because it's claiming the truth, not asking, not begging, but claiming the truth as being a present noun. Meditation is going into the silence. And this is important. Jesus and prophets always took time to go apart and to have quiet time where they could go deep and feed their souls from that deeper connection. So this is an important practice along with prayer and the affirmations, to take time to reconnect every day to source, however that appears for you. And finally, the third practice is forgiveness. Oh, I went a little too far, but that's okay. Forgiveness, anything we have not forgiven is a block. It's something we haven't let go of. Forgiveness could happen through denials and affirmations. Forgiveness could happen through prayer and meditation. Sometimes forgiveness needs a little extra work. Sometimes we have deeply rooted unconscious things that we're still finding and experiencing. So however your forgiveness practice is, utilize it, because forgiveness is the greatest way to let go and let God. And finally, very important, practice patience and commitment. Patience. It takes 40 days. How long is 40 days? as long as it takes. If you are committed to your process, you will immediately begin to experience some relief and joy, but the process may take some time. Don't be concerned. Have patience, because the more patient you are, the faster it'll go. Because the more patient you are, the more you let go and let God. So I want to end with one quote. This is out of the book that we have been reading or discussing, Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore, but this quote is by Georgiana Tree West, who was a writer, a very profound writer within the Unity movement. And she said, when we withdraw our attention, interest, and support from the false and unworthy, this is true fasting. So as we talk about fasting and unity, it's when we withdraw our interest, our attention, and our support to those things which are not true. When we give that same attention, interest, and support to the enduring good, to the qualities of God within ourselves, we are feasting on the things of spirit. And this is prayer. And this is fundamentally our practice of Lent within the unity. So with that, I'd like to invite you to do a quick little meditation, to just take time right now to sit back and take a moment to think of something that you are ready to let go of. It doesn't matter what comes up, there's no right or wrong. It's the practice itself, which is what's really doing the work of transformation. Gently close your eyes, turn your attention within. Take a nice deep breath in and a slow, easy breath out. Feel yourself relax and just be present in this moment. As you relax your physical body, feel your heart and your mind relax and open. What is it you are ready to let go of? Hold that gently in your mind. No clinging, no containment, no control, just gently recognize this I am ready to release. And then on the next deep in-breath in, I want you to invite it to gently float away as you open this space to let in the light, the love, and the presence of spirit. With an inhale in and a gentle exhale out, I release this. I am open to spirit and the flow of life. Just take the next moment in silence to be with that experience. And when you are ready, gently say thank you. however this experience has turned out, even if it feels like you haven't released, just say thank you for something in this moment shifted. And you may follow your breath back into your body awareness, back into this room. Feel yourself sitting in the chair. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
That is good stuff. Now we move into that offering part of our service, for we know that as we give, we also receive. And it's through your generous gifts that we bring and we continue to bring this light into our community. So please join me in this prosperity blessing. Joyously, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.